So the truck is a 2017 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road. Has some modifications, which I will go through here. And these modifications mostly pertain to carrying this beast of a camper. So recently I upgraded the front suspension from Bilsteins to Icon coilovers, which are totally overkill, not needed, but they were on sale. I don't know which ones these are exactly. Stage 1, Stage 2, whatever. No A-arms or anything, just the coilover with the remote reservoir. They were on sale, like I said. That's kind of the only reason I got them. I got these rock sliders from Cali Raised. This is made for the quad cab long bed. So it has this little kick out here. Good protection, especially in parking lots with shopping carts rolling towards you. But no, on the trail it's great. Also acts as kind of like a step. Doesn't really affect your ground clearance at all. So that's the main thing. And you can see, oh no, you can't see, but when I first got my truck, I had a little accident with climbing over some rocks and sand without having any sort of protection. So that was needed. This is just to be cool, overland bound number 28062, member of the Overland Bound crew, whatever. Just looks cool. And you get a patch. Added the little Overland and the blacked out Tacoma. Pretty sweet. So going back to the suspension, the rear was the biggest challenge to hold the weight of this thing. So I just had these Bilstein, I forget what model they are, but just a remote reservoir, nothing crazy. The shocks weren't really the issue, it was the springs. So a lot of people use airbags. I'm running this camper full time, so airbags, I didn't like that option. So I added these Sumo bump stops. Sumo bump stops. They're rated for 1,000 pounds each. Camper weighs, over that, but it works really well. And then these crazy leaf springs from Deaver Leaf Spring in Southern California, where I'm from. These are their Expedition Stage 3 leaf springs that are also rated to 1,000 plus pounds. They're stiff, and it brought me back to my factory height, which was needed. And with the weight of the camper, it rides just like stock. It's super nice. So that's the major upgrade. If I take this camper off ever, I'm gonna be sitting like this going down the road, so that's not really an option. But I do have the stock springs with the Icon add-a-leaf, which I can swap out. And speaking of taking off, here's your jack mounts. You can get the factory jacks on 4 sides, which you crank up and it, lifts the thing up and off, and it's pretty simple on all 4 corners there. But you can also tie into these. These are great mounting points. So this Mule, I think it's Mule Expedition Outfitters, this bracket here, I bought to put my ARB touring awning on without having to drill into the side of the camper or make a custom mount, which now that I have a welder I can do. But it's nicely made. It wasn't super expensive. This actually swivels down, so it's easier to install. That was the main benefit. It comes with a little quick release, bike clamp style release that I traded out for some grade 8 lock nuts and bolts. Everything's grade 8 here, so it's heavy duty. And then there's also this Mule kind of accessory bracket for a jerry can, which I adapted by drilling some holes and stuff to put the Rotopack mount, the dual mount on here, which it's not super solid, but for the weight of these small cans, it's just fine, no issues. Got a rear light, which, there it goes. It's got some snow on it, so it's acting up. Probably need to clean that out. Got the dual rear lights here, the rear floods, which are on a switch right here, right there. Click that on, and now you got tons of light back here. You can crank these down, whatever you want, but they work well. Ladder steps. I don't think anybody actually uses these as a ladder. You could, I guess, but I think these came stock with it, and they more hold like a carabiner, your beer, clothing, a hat, whatever. I just hang crap off of them. I did get these little Hopkins levels, which I put them on backwards as far as the signage, but it does help me line up as far as keeping this thing level to sleep. I get it as close as I can. Right now we're pretty level, so that's nice. Don't have to use any blocks or treads or anything to get it up and level, so that's cool. But yeah, these are handy, and you just use a level and make sure it's actually level when you put it on to the camper, and then you're good to go. But cheap accessory, come in handy. Here's the solar input. If you don't have solar added, which I do, I have a 160 watt Overland solar panel and controller and all that good stuff. I wanted to make sure I had solar. I've done solar myself in the past. It's super easy to do. I do have like a 60 watt panel auxiliary that I plug into here that's small and directional. It comes in super handy if I'm like parked under the shade or just want additional power. But the panels are up there, easy to access when you got the thing closed up. Here's the exhaust for the furnace, which is running right now. Furnace is amazing. That was the one major thing I wanted to add when I got this thing. I wanted to use this thing for winter camping. So yeah. I didn't have shore power, but I added this little no-co plug, this receiver. So if I want to run like a window AC, which I have done and you can do, and you're parked at like an RV park or have a generator, you can just plug in your extension cord here. And then there is 2 outlets in here, like a extension cord basically. I don't know if you can see them, but somewhere in there, there's 2 female outlets to plug into, to tie into. So technically I have shore power without spending thousands of dollars and all the electrical that goes with it. So that was a nice key feature. This is a fleet model, 4-wheel camper, 4-wheel pop-up campers based in California. This is designed for the smaller mid-sized trucks like a Tacoma. Weight-wise, you know, nothing's really specifically designed for the Tacoma besides the Project M, which is more of a bare bones version, which is a good option for some people. Look into that one. But the fleet model I have here, you can get it as a fleet shell, which comes from the factory. There's basically nothing in it other than that bed up top. I could be a little wrong about that, but as far as I remember, a fleet shell, it's just an empty shell in here. You might have like a USB outlet or something, but it's just that bed over the top. And then you can build this out however you want, which is a super cool option. If I did it again, I might do that and do my own diesel heater instead of propane. I already did my own fridge and my own shelving and stuff. I did add this Lagoon table mount myself, made the tabletop myself. But the way I ordered it was, I wanted the rollover couch, because A, I wanted a couch with the storage underneath, and B, I wanted to be able to sleep additional people if I had a buddy come, which I've done. So this just flips over, folds flat, and you got tons of room, additional bed here. You can also stealth camp. So if the weather's terrible or you're, at a truck stop or something, rest stop, and you just want to nap for like an hour or something, you can keep this thing closed and flip this over and just crawl in and keep everything closed up and nobody will know you're in there. It'll also be much warmer if you're running the furnace without the top popped up. I did add the Arctic Pack insulation, which is very helpful. It just adds a little air gap of insulation, and it really does work. It looks like just kind of cheap fabric, but it does the trick. And I bought this thing for winter camping, and here we are in the snow with no issues. I think I've covered most everything here. Anyway, the model I ordered, again, had the rollover couch. I added the furnace because I really wanted to camp in the winter. I added solar. I added the 2-burner cooktop here, and the 1 powered fan, which does have a remote, and the Arctic Pack. And that was the options I ordered. I did order the gray and black interior. I think it looked better than the old style wood. Just looks a little more modern. I did upgrade to this upholstery, which I didn't need to, and I wouldn't do if I had to do it all over again. Their stock ones are just fine. They get dirty and stuff anyway. So, yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I figured out which model I wanted for my Tacoma based on YouTube videos and the help of others, so that's one of the main reasons I'm making this video. Hopefully this helps you figure out what you need, what you want, all the features. The dry weight of this camper was 1,037 from the factory, I believe. This is not accurate just because it has accessories installed in it, but I believe they said from the factory 1,037 weight on the scale, and that's without any of the things I've added. So that fridge loaded up is pretty heavy. Storage, all my junk, you know, I'm pushing, just guessing, at least 1,300 pounds minimum. So I'm overweight for sure. Is it an issue? Not really. You could re-gear if you really, really wanted to. I may do that eventually, but I did get a tune for this thing. I got the Overland tune, which is made for the Tacoma or, you know, other trucks and 4Runners and whatnot. It's made to hold weight. It's made to hold all your junk, and it just shifts better. The RPMs, it's made for the weight. So it does just fine. Averaging maybe 13 miles per gallon if I'm not going crazy, which isn't terrible. It's not great. So there are some disadvantages. But if you're just cruising and off-roading and just putting along and want to get somewhere and stay comfortable, this is the route to go, I think. Fully self-contained. I got the little porta potty too, which the wife absolutely loves. She didn't do a lot of camping before I got this thing, but this is her favorite thing by far. No number twos. You can number two in it. I put a bag on top and then bury it like a biodegradable bag. I just don't want, you know, sewage in here, but number one's totally fine. Easy. Easy to clean, easy to just take in your toilet and dump out when you're done with your trip. Keep some tablets in here to keep it deodorized, and it's great. There's no real issues with that thing, and it's great for up to, I'd say, like a 4 or 5 day trip with, you know, 2 people. So fits right under there. It was made for it. I bought that separate. That's the Porta Potty 135. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm thinking about making more of these videos. Me out here in Michigan, camping in the winter, cooking, you know, doing some cool overlanding type stuff. If you like this, maybe you could subscribe, and that would motivate me to actually do this. I've talked about doing this for a long time. I am a professional photographer by trade, and I just moved here recently and kind of in between jobs and rebuilding my business out this way from California. So I got time. I think this will be a fun thing to do. Not sure if I can make any money at it. That's not really a huge issue, but it would be nice. It'd be a bonus. So, yeah. Let me know if you like this stuff. I can do more. And I love camping, and I love this rig. So I'm happy to show more videos and get a little more creative with this. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And we'll see you again. Thanks.